Brodes Media.
Yo, that sucked. Not good. Not good. Not good. It's not over. And I was feeling great all day. I wasn't worried a lick. No anxiety. Then I watched Sanchez. Change up, change up, change up. Ew! Here's Ohtani looking like a statue, not even moving and getting frozen. 97 mile per hour fastball down the dick. This guy ain't moving. Probably sitting that changeup. Ew! Then the sixth happened with 2 outs. And here's the truth. Rob Thompson made one bad decision. One bad decision. And it was a costly one. What's more costly, though? The top of your lineup decided not to show up today. This team is built to have success through an NL MVP candidate. That's how they operate. That's how they generate life. Kyle Schwarber was atrocious. Trey wasn't good enough. Bryce, I know there was the late 8th inning rally set up for the Edmundo Sosa flyout, unfortunately. But the offense was too quiet again. That was the main issue. Rob allowing David Robertson to get the 7th after he threw pretty much every pitch of ball the previous inning. You just got lucky that Max Muncy, I don't know if he got his penis erect. I don't know if he was thinking, hey, 3-0, maybe there's something that's just going to float right in my wheelhouse. I don't know. But ball. Yeah, let's put him in the 7th. And then here's Strom. And here he is not covering his damn glove. Then you got people relaying pitches to Teoscar Hernandez, who takes it to the fucking moon. And now the Dodgers take the lead. So I'm aware of how Rob's one bad decision did truly impact the outcome. You still need to do more offensively, and the players got to do better. They got to do better. I'm sorry, they do. They do. The top of your order. What made this team fun, electric, why they won in September? It was the entire team as one came together and figured it out, whether it was some variation of the bottom of the order, a Kepler, a Bader, a Stott, a Marsh, a Sosa, or it's Kyle Schwarber hitting a couple ding-dongs. Maybe Nick coming off the bench to pimp one. That's what they did. That's how they won. So that's where this begins. That's at the very tippy top of the list. And why do I keep referencing one? Because, well, you got idiots and morons saying he ruined the game by allowing Christopher Sanchez to keep pitching. You have to go to a damn mental institute and be locked up in a straitjacket if you thought Rob Thompson poorly managed this game because of his handling of Sanchez. I gotta question your knowledge of the game. I must. That is nowhere even close to being an issue. When you think about that being your ace now without Zach Wheeler, come on. He was throwing a gem. A gem. Yes, in the 6th with 2 outs, not great, but they got out of that 3-2, leading. You're not just going to shut out the Dodgers lineup and just post shutouts and keep them quiet forever. So they got to your starter 2 runs. After he was magnificent for a long period of time. He was gross. You want him to go out to the mound and take him out. You'd be the first moron to say, how dare Rob Thompson not have a gut feel to know that your ace deserves a chance to get out of an uncomfortable pickle. I know it. I deal with you dopes every day. So please. And once we found out about the news with Bader and it being an injury, well, then that takes away any criticism of why pinch hit Nick Castellanos with a righty glass now. But I'll tell you what. One of the big reasons why I started to convince myself this team could do it, that Dodgers bullpen stinks. What did they do? Glass now, and look how they closed it. They found ways around it. They got Clayton Kershaw going to the pen. They figured it out. So if that's now going to be more of an even battle and more neutralized, like their bullpen sucked. We had questions about ours, and now I'm reminded, Matt Strahm blew last postseason. Matt Strahm went from all-star to holy hell, I'm shaking in my boots. Mommy, let me go look at my autograph cards. That's not right. I'm sorry. I'm emotional. But with this bullpen and how they're assembled, it may be more even. And their bullpen was horrible, 50 times worse than yours. Now with some new names and a new style, then my advantage, or what I once thought was an advantage, just evaporates. And now you start to get more worried. I'm not giving up on him. I see it's over tweets everywhere. I got group chats firing off saying, we're screwed. We're done. We're toast. And I get it. Winning game one, I saw 3 or 4 different numbers with this stat posted, but somewhere along the lines of 75% chance to win the series after taking game one in a 5-game set. So mathematically, yeah, this hurts. And I talked myself into giving them a shot and opening up my heart and essentially downloading Tinder again. It's time to open up my heart. That's what I said when it turned October, when the calendar flipped, and I said, let's lock in, boys. Let's get after it. All right, I can see why you could win games in theory. I'll fucking bite into that and shove it up my nose, hoping it gets injected into the blood. Ugh. What if Bader can't play? He's getting imaging done for his groin. What if he can't play? You see that catch he made? He's part of the reason why the turnaround happened. So now their bullpen might not be as bad. And now something that gave you a spark, gave you some life, gave you a ton of juice. We got to wait for imaging. And maybe here's Nick's chance to take over. He had a good NLDS against the Mets. He didn't do good when he grounded out into the double play in one of the most confusing, what we thought was a pinch hit at the time, which, wow, that was devastating. But if Nick, after being this high-profile guy, has to now get thrown in and start all these games, and here's your playoff push, dude, and he puts us on his back, there's an element that I wasn't prepared for. But actually, then it's just replacing what I thought Harrison Bader could do. And then, are you the same? Oh, my God, I'm getting too technical. This is a painful loss, all right? I'm emotionally hurt. But what do I do when I'm hurt? Well, there's a few things I do. One of them is make sure I get the greens going. You know what I'm saying? Philly fans, game day is stressful enough. How about Camden Apothecary? Oh, fantastic. Parking, traffic, long lines, we've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. And they are only 5 minutes over the bridge. This is the dispensary for sports fans. Just minutes outside of Philly, with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting, and they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up. Tell them Brodes sent you for 10% off. Let me tell you something. Camden Apothecary does a nice job. Because when you watch the baseball team and then you realize I'm going to be up at night staring at the wall, thinking of the lowlights, thinking of Kyle Schwarber's rough at-bats. Oh, my God. Come on, Kyle was right there, dude. I saw some of those pitches. I swore there was a chance it was going 450. Here he is, out of sync. You're lucky Shohei Ohtani looked that dreadful offensive. That was embarrassing. I thought he was good. He is. That's going to come back to bite me in the ass. But, Schwarber, without Ohtani being that rough, you're the star of the show when it comes to ugly. And I say that all with love because we know he's tremendous. We know he's phenomenal. We know he's elite. But we need it. This is the time you got to do it. And I think he can, of course. It's Schwarber. But we need it. When it's all said and done, we could say X, Y, and Z, and David Robertson this, and those decisions are game-changing. And I'm a Rob Thompson guy. I think he made a mistake. He did. He made a mistake. But it's so hard to generate success, especially against the Dodgers team, with that type of lifeless offense. It was there for a minute. I don't know what was going on in right field. JT's hustling his balls off as he's getting to third. The place is erupting, and credit to the fans. I got to start wondering, though, as much as we say it's bedlam and it's chaos and it's going to overwhelm you and suffocate you, you need, I said this in the other show I did a couple days ago, you need the Phillies to produce. And then the fans are the added layer that makes a 3-0 lead feel like a 5-0 lead. A 1-0 lead feel like a 2-0 lead. And what needs to happen, though, is you keep your fucking foot on the gas. So when you start going, we follow and jump on your back. That's what we do. But you got to supply the initial fucking let's go attitude with your play. That wasn't there. It died out. You thought you had Shohei Ohtani on the ropes. He's looking up in the sky, taking weird deep breaths. People are wondering if this guy had money on the game, and he's trying to calculate, well, hold on. Did I take the money line, the spread? Did I have him as, to hit a home run plus however, whatever? He looked Sam Darnold-like, offensively and on the mound early. Then you let him settle in and start roasting you, bending you over. Reminds me of what I was watching with Boston, where Crochet found a groove, boom. And he did that to you when you saw him last time. You got lucky in that regular season game. They were worried about pitch count and took him out because that could have been pathetic too. But I thought maybe that could have helped you, if anything. Speaking of help, they got to see Duran. That's annoying. And whoever's decision it is, I don't have to waste my time. I shouldn't have to waste my time. What are we doing with that light show? Are you sick? Are you serious? Oh my God. I think that ruined the vibe in the ballpark, let alone my basement. You can't do that. I mean, everyone in the stand is like, this is disgusting. This is just horrific. When you have the lead, easy as that. 5-3 down 1-0, and they're showing, oh, we got fire. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I want runs. Can you give me runs? Oh, yeah, here's the fire we put out in center field. We're losing the damn game. We got one more at-bat. That ticked me off. I was hoping and praying that Stotty would have been able to do something awesome. Instead, pop up, third base territory. Oh, my God. How? How did we get here? And truth be told, I really was. No jokes. I started the show off telling you that I did feel great all day. And it reminded me of the same non-anxiety feeling when the Eagles played in the Super Bowl. That whole day, I was so steady hand. I was so cool, calm, and collected. I was so Ranger Suarez, if you will. And then even watching Sanchez pitch, I mean, I told my wife, hey, game on, 6:38 today. It's game one. So normally I put the girls down to bed and I help out in that area every night, but I just wanted to be in a little game one mode, right? My wife understood and said, yeah, no problem. It was a weird lock-in for me even throughout the game because I just felt that confident in the way Sanchez was going about his business. And there was maybe one inning there, maybe the second inning-ish, because the first one was sick. And then the second one, maybe he started to mess around with his location just a tad. Maybe it wasn't the perfect location. He wasn't as precise as he needed to be, but then he found it and he was going. But once David Robertson, I guess it, even with the Maxey falling down 3-0, it wasn't as aggressive of a feeling when he got Maxey out and it was 3-2. But the return in the seventh, and it's a hit by pitch and off-speed pitch, and oh, God. I went, ooh. One of my buddies from Boston who claims he wasn't doing this to poke fun at me, but sent me a screenshot of taking the Dodgers money line live, in game, and said it's time to take it when it was 3-0 with guys on base. I'm going, dude, you're a dick. You're an absolute tool. Well, good for him. He got his bread. About to ask him to send me, send me something. A little Uber Eats from Boston. Well, they have to be in Boston to deliver it. If so, that would be a hell of a trip. What am I talking about? Oh, my God. Luzardo going game 2? This is where I'm at. I'm broken. I'm talking about my friend ordering me food from Uber Eats in a different state and how it would get here, as if it couldn't just be someone local at a local and now I'm explaining it. Oh, my God. I am broken. I saw people, get back on track here. I saw people complaining about Rob Thompson going to Edmundo Sosa and not showing faith in Brandon Marsh, lefty. Again, straitjacket. If that's ever crossing your mind that you can't go to Edmundo Sosa against a lefty in the playoffs with bases loaded, with essentially the game on the line, based off of what this current roster is, and when you look at who this team's been, that's managing 101. If he let Brandon Marsh hit there, what are we doing? That's the role of an Edmundo Sosa. And it's a shame because maybe Nick would have had that if Harrison Bader wasn't banged up, and it could have been a different outcome. I don't know. What if it was a grand slam? It's a totally different AB. I think you approach Nick Castellanos differently than you would Edmundo Sosa. So, but yeah, Luzardo now essentially has the series on the line. Do you like Luzardo? Or do you like the idea of maybe asking Ranger Suarez since he wasn't used? This is for the season. So essentially the question becomes, if the season was on the line, if you're having a barroom conversation with the boys, it's 3 a.m., you're stumbling around, you're asking sports questions, and that's where you come up with. Season on the line, what are you thinking? I'd imagine most people would say Ranger, but maybe I'm wrong. It was announced before the game. They're going Luzardo. I wonder if that had anything to do with Ranger Suarez pitching on the road. Maybe having more belief in him going on the road and doing some dirty work on the bump out in front of their fan base. Let's go to the Anytime Hotline.
Rough loss, man. Rough loss. I've seen a lot of people, trying to blame Rob Thompson or the bullpen for this game, and I understand that, okay? But I think the real reason we lost this game was just because of our top guys, not producing. You're just not going to beat the Dodgers, a team with this much talent on it. You're not going to beat them when you have Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper all no-shows tonight. I don't even count Bryce Harper a single of the eighth there. It was a bad at bat. He missed a fastball right down the middle. We need more out of him. And it was crazy because we almost won even with that because we did well against the Dodgers top of the order, aside from one swing, and that was the difference, So you got to go all out to win this game too now, man. Like, you can't just go about this with your normal mentality, starter to reliever to closer. I need to see Rob really manage with a sense of urgency because this game coming up is the season. Hope his team responds. Go Phils.
No, dude, you're absolutely right. I think that's a phenomenal point. I need to see Rob Thompson manage with all hands on deck. We ain't doing the Robertsons, you know, as much as he was fine there in the regular season. We're trying to rely on winning a World Series with a guy who got plucked off the street with a month or two to go in the season at 40-something years old. And I do think he's got a little left in the tank. I do. I genuinely do. I don't think he's just a stiff. But, man, think about what you're asking to be almost one of your most reliable, important bullpen arms outside of Duran. That's your next best thing. And it is. Kerkering hasn't been reliable, even though today, who? Strong, And then you even factor in last year's playoff run just to put it really home, hammer it home. Matt Strahm in the playoffs, maybe he's just a deer in headlights. He almost got out of it, to be fair. But, I mean, there's all sorts of screenshots of them relaying messages. Your gloves wide open, man on second base is telling Teoscar Hernandez what's about to come. You allowed the blast. That's crucial. How much of that goes back to Dave Dombrowski's mindset, Dave Dombrowski missing out on Jordan Romano, how much that domino effect clearly hurt. Jose Alvarado put this team in a monster hole, like a serious hole. That's why I never understood why people would give him a standing ovation. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're part of the problem on why we're here. But just to tie this bow, why we're here with the bullpen, but just to tie a bow on this whole thing, Rob, I just watched Dave Roberts go to Glass now. I watched them close it out in the ninth. It's not about the Strahms, the Robertsons, or any of those cats. Sorry, Kerkering, sorry. Nobody truly did enough to establish themselves. It's Duran, then maybe we go Walker Buehler. And I'm not telling you it's going to work. Maybe it's Aaron Nola. I don't know how it plays out. But if he goes out there tomorrow, or on Sunday, or Monday, and he puts Aaron Nola in the sixth inning, after Luzardo goes 5 and needs to be pulled at 102 pitches, let's say not efficient, but 5 innings, 2 earned, 5 innings, 1 earned, but the pitch count went high. You go to Aaron Nola. But here's what I can't have. You say, why would you go to Nola? He's not a bullpen. We can't have it both ways. So before we see an outcome, I like that idea. I'm watching the Dodgers do it because they know their bullpen is a monster flaw. And it's part of the reason why they could lose. And seriously, schematically, the standard saying is what? You're only as strong as your weakest link? Well, their bullpen is the worst grouping of any of these parts of a team. If you look at the Phillies pitching, the Phillies bullpen, the Dodgers pitching, the Dodgers bullpen, the lineups, even with a cold offense, the Phillies' cold offense, I think, is actually better than their real bullpen. They're just not using their real bullpen because they can't. But the fact that they're not using it changes the whole X and O combo. But heading into the series, I thought, well, that's their weakest link. And their weakest link is the weakest link of all the links. So what you're realizing on the fly is maybe some of those names that were reliable, we have to go to a different link. Is this all making sense, or am I speaking gibberish? There's a chance the answer to that question is both. But let me tell you something. Speaking of both, not only do I love Camden Apothecary, because I really, really do, and I enjoy smoking that, I also enjoy smoking my Emilio cigars, baby. Look at these beauties. Oh, old school roots. Oh, new school attitude. Oh, locally owned, third generation, made at Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. All right, these are the best cigars to ever touch my lips. They're the only cigar to smoke. Emilio cigars are the only cigar to smoke. Whether you're going golfing with the boys and you're being the beauty to make sure the fellas are good for the 18, whether you got a family party and the uncles and cousins and aunts are all going to be there, you bring the Emilios. And what if I told you there are so many options when you click the link down below in the description to go to their website. And when you use code BRODES10 at checkout, you get 10% off. It's a no-brainer. If you are a cigar smoker, let me tell you something. Do me a favor, dabble, and get back to me. And let me hear what you have to say. Because the amount of you that have said, yo, bro, it's tremendous. A+. You're great looking. You're smart. And you understand what a phenomenal cigar is. Thank you. You don't want to miss out on this. Make sure you join the Emilio Cigar family. Back to the phones we go. Wow, I am devastated.
Hey, man. I'm a diehard Phillies fan from the Princeton, New Jersey area, and I'm absolutely disgusted because I don't know how Strom can throw a ball like that tonight in the outer part of the zone to Hernandez. It was absolutely pathetic. It just shows bad awareness of this team for that guy coming in to this game tonight and not fucking closing the deal and getting it done. We earned a win with Sanchez and with Realmuto doing their job tonight. The rest of the guys, other guys in the lineup, I know our big guys haven't done it. They will. They'll probably make it a 4 or 5 game series, but it's a shame. This squad has to lose the game tonight because Strom and Robertson in the bullpen can't get the job done. That's it. They don't lose. If they win, great. But if they lose, that's the problem right there.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to collect my thoughts a little bit. A few things. You mentioned Game 4, Game 5. Just hearing those words made a light bulb connect because I don't know if I said this yet, but one thing I wanted to make sure I bring up is I understand I'm hurting. I understand that they lost this game, but I mean, come on, man. Like we should have some more pride than just saying it's over. And who knows? Maybe they do lose the series to the Dodgers. But after one loss, and I know we've seen the same story. Brodes, come on. I know. Trust me. I had a stance on this team for a long time for a reason. And again, I opened up my heart. I downloaded Tinder again. I'm on Hinge. I'm on Bubble. I'm giving it a whirl. I'm opening up my heart. But I'm not stupid, okay? I'm just a fan who's riding what they are, and I'm seeing hopefully they can make something special happen and magic aligns. Okay. I'm not going down after Game 1 and just quitting. They dug themselves in a hole. They said they were mentally different this year. They said they were mentally tougher. They said, this was the season. They've said, hey, the prize is that championship. That's what we're going after. That's the sole purpose. That's what it's all about. We're dedicated to do it. We're putting everything out there to make it happen. Well, all right, let's see it. Let's see it. They've given us a crazy, weird, strange season. Why would this be any different against arguably I'd say this series here is just two powerhouses that if they were in the AL/NL could be the World Series. They just happen to be matching up now. So we'll see if they are that or not. If they go down limp, and then we're going to have some harsh conversations. But I'm just not quitting yet. We'll see. Game 2 will clearly influence a lot of things. Okay, so another thing that I want to say, I guess, about that phone call too is I also understand that guys are going to have bad days out of the bullpen and they're not just going to be perfect. But sure, I think it's also reasonable to just be thinking, hey, Robertson, don't suck if you get your name called again in the 7th. Hey, Strom, don't suck. That was a pitch. Teoscar Hernandez took the Mars and you lost the lead. Don't allow that. Don't allow that. If the other team ties the game up 3-3, okay, reset. Okay, let's hit the button. Boom. Now it's 0-0. Back to war. Fine. You can't let that happen. It reminds me last year when the Grand Slam against the Mets happened. Oh, okay, listen, I get it. But you can't let the Grand Slam happen. The worst case scenario of them all, be better. How much of it is be better? Strom, you want the ball, right? Let's go. Let's go. Get out of that. Tough spot. Get out of it. Don't allow that. You got close, but that is inexcusable. There's a portion of me that feels that way. And as a Rob guy, there is a good portion of me that wants to, deep down, criticize him even harsher for that decision to go to Robertson in the 7th because you watched Red Sox Yankees, Brodes. You studied Cora. You studied Boone. Hell, you used it as an open for a WIP show playing Alex Cora audio. I mean, right? So it influenced you, and you're right. It did. And that swung the game. So there's a part of me that feels that way. I'll be open with you all. Still, though, Turner, Kyle, Bryce, and if we do want to nitpick even more, I hated to see, even though it didn't end up playing a big part in the results, but the Turner-Bohm mishap on the double play balls, I'll give Turner a mini break. I don't think his was that bad. We're watching it in super slow-mo. And there was a little tiny hesitation, but I don't think it was egregious. But those type of things, Alec Boehm not getting the ball out of his glove instead of a double play, the inning lives on. In a different setting, those type of details are the difference of your starter getting an extra inning or not, saving a risky bullpen decision. Instead of the 6th, it's the 7th. Instead of the 7th, maybe it's the 8th. These are when you're pulling guys to come in out of the pen. That's the difference in 15 pitches, maybe, if that's cleaner. But here's where my conscience comes in on that one. They're not robots, right? These are humans. The transfer isn't always going to be perfect. I can't ask for just literal perfection to a T, right? The Dodgers won this game. The controllable Teoscar Hernandez play, but things happen is my point. His was way more of a controllable because that was just effort compared to maybe the ball getting stuck in your glove, but things happen. That's what makes the game the game. I can't just expect it to be so crisp that there's not one bobble ever in the history of the 9 innings played. It doesn't work that way. And now you may wonder why I drive myself crazy, because this is how my brain works. This is how I talk to myself. Back to the phones.
Hey, Brodes. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I just, it's like the same shit with this team. They can't hit. They can't lay off these fucking off-speed pitches. They get one good inning, and then they just can't get anything. They just can't get anything going. They let the Dodgers hang around. I don't blame this that much on Sanchez, but they're in trouble. Realistically, this is what I've known about this team. I've seen the last few games, the last few weeks, and the games that they have played, and this is what they've been doing. They've been losing games that they've had leads, that they've scored first. This is nothing new. So they're going to have to pull something out of their ass, or it's going to be another early exit.
Could be. And it sucks. And I'm not there. Okay. Today's not the day for that. I could be wrong, but I feel there's a lot of fans, myself included, that we're not stupid. We know deep down and knew deep down prior to this series based off of what they did throughout the regular season. We knew something like this was in the cards-ish. Today's not the day. You also put your hand in the dirt and get ready for the snap and say it's postseason. Let's ride and see how this puppy can go. You know what I'm saying? But our eyes told us things. You know what I'm saying? It's not for today because they're going to win game 2. All right? They're going to win game 2. You heard it here first. I'll talk to you tomorrow.